Welcome back. Broadcom reports earnings. That's after the bell today. It is trading right around new highs going into that report. Joining us now with the setup is the head of technology research at Melius. He's Ben Reitzes. Has a buy. 283 is his price target. Ben, always good to have you. You put out a new report very recently, and Hawk we still trust. This after you launched coverage similar with a similar title some time back. Why do you still trust him, and why are you a believer that the quarter is going to reward that trust?
Well, he's one of the best operators in the business. He really tends to deliver. And I think he's also a great communicator. I think that one of the things that he's done that's pretty interesting is that he set targets for a serviceable, addressable market that's pretty large from his largest hyperscaler customers by 2027, 60 to 90 billion. And that's just 3 customers. And he recently announced that they're up to 7 customers. So if he can update any of the long-term addressable market from all these additional AI customers, that could be a pretty good thing. And I think that this custom silicon trend, where certain workloads are being run on companies that use Broadcom to design the chips, is going to keep going. And Hawk's a winner in that category, and we see good things coming.
Yeah, well, obviously leverage to the data center and the continued growth there. What are you going to be listening for on the call to continue to give you the confidence you have, around commentary or specific metrics in terms of the earnings report?
Yeah, there's about 3 things, David. They have AI revenue that they disclosed last quarter. It was pretty strong at 4.1 billion, about 300 million more than the street. I want to see that that's above 4.4 billion. Growing well over maybe 50%, hopefully. And that's a really key indicator, and that's their AI semis business. And then we want to hear about whether they won new customers, if 7 number goes to maybe 8 or something like that, or how they feel about that. And then just in general, how the long-term aspects of the market are going. And I'll say one other thing. They just put out a really great new networking chip called the Tomahawk 6. So that should really get going in 2026 and drive not the semis portion, but more the networking part of their AI business. So those are the 4 things or so we're looking for, and hope that that he can talk about maybe some of the longer term growth prospects.
Who are their biggest competitors in the categories where they compete, Ben, specifically in AI? And where are they in terms of leading?
Well, like on paper, Marvell is trying to get into the custom silicon market, and they have a few customers. But really, their competitor is really NVIDIA, where NVIDIA has their own software stack and their own chip that really others adopt. NVIDIA has the big developer following. But when companies that have tons of resources, like the big hyperscalers, want to run certain workloads, running their own silicon to save money, Broadcom's really the only game in town. Marvell is way behind, and these guys really lead. They have a great team. They also just continue to get the wins that everybody wants. So they have the best roster of clients right now. So I would really say NVIDIA and these guys are dividing up the market.
You know, a company obviously that hasn't just grown organically, but anybody who knows it knows it's also grown from enormous deals. VMware and now sort of in the rear view mirror. Any expectation at all that he gets back to deal making?
Well, maybe the free cash flow is really good here, and the EBITDA margin is insane. It's like in the high 60s. Hawk's done a great job of integrating VMware. And VMware, a lot of people just don't even talk about the software business because it's on autopilot, about 40% of revenue, about 50% of profit. They may want to continue to augment that business. And infrastructure software is an area where it's pretty stable. We're a little more cautious on the SaaS part of the market, but the slower growing infrastructure is harder to rip out. He does a great job there. So, it might come up on the call on whether he wants to do more acquisitions there. I doubt anything as big as VMware is out there for the taking, and we have to see about the regulatory environment. But it is a question that likely starts to come up as they continue to execute and throw off all this cash. And remember, Hawk bought stock at 10 billion, announced an incremental 10 billion buyback when the stock was just 154 a few months ago. And he could also do that, buy back more stock.
Yeah.